Hello, everyone. I'm Neena Gopal. Welcome to the Global Express, where we deconstruct events that impact India and its neighborhood. Today, as India moves quickly to offset the damage to its economy with an outreach to 40 key markets, there's more such moves in the pipeline as India steps back from a direct one on one confrontation with Trump and his administration. But the uncertainty that now colors that carefully nurtured relationship is very dangerous. Curiously, Trump has made an interesting move by appointing a new US ambassador to Delhi after a gap of 7 months. A man with no diplomatic experience, but a political appointee nevertheless. Can Sergei Gore, who reportedly has Trump's ear, be the much needed bridge? It's also clear that as Prime Minister Modi heads to Tianjin this weekend for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, he will press on with the projection of India as a rising power. Moving beyond the Trump diatribe on oil purchases and tariffs, the PM will seek to strengthen ties with two major powers in keeping with India's pursuit of strategic autonomy. Diplomats and experts are warning that ties between Delhi and Washington must not be allowed to fray any further. But as Indo US relations spiral into a vortex, Delhi is taking steps that could have far reaching geopolitical consequences. Talking to us today is Ajay Srivastava, founder of Global Trade Research Initiative. He is the expert on trade and tariffs. He served as an Indian trade officer with the Government of India, involved in policy making, negotiating with the WTO, and a number of free trade agreements. He's a vocal commentator and columnist on what India must do to offset the damage caused by the 50% tariffs. Welcome, Mr. Srivastava. Could you explain what India must do in the face of these punishing tariffs imposed by the Trump administration? It's hugely significant that the trade deficit between the US and India has widened over the past decade, hasn't it? I mean, at the same time, both countries have doubled their amount of imported goods from one another. I mean, last year, the United States is said to have imported $87 billion worth of goods from India and exported $42 billion in American goods to India. So this is all data which has come from the Commerce Department. So while Trump has upped the tariffs on China in his first term and earlier this year, why is it that this time, in the Chinese have been there's only talk about imposing tariffs, but really nothing has been done on China. And American businesses were being sort of pushed and incentivized to actually shift their production locations out of China to India. In the light of this, of this rift between America and and India, will that still hold good, Mr. Srivastava?
The trade war essentially started by America against China, and now China has been given a free pass. How it has happened? In his first term, Trump essentially targeted China with tariffs on thousands of items. In his second term, also he started with China. He imposed 35% tariffs. Then China responded by imposing tariffs on American goods. So Trump again raised the tariffs, and finally, by April 2, the tariffs on China were 145%, and China was imposing more than 100% on American goods. So both sides knew it's not going to work, and so both the sides met, and they entered a short-term agreement for 3 months. They want to revive every 3 months. And here, what worked in China's favor was China stopped the supplies of rare earth materials to the US. Rare earth
Hmm.
means they cannot manufacture their auto, they cannot manufacture their semiconductors, they cannot manufacture their military equipment, most of them. And that took America, got America on its most vulnerable spot, and they had to agree to whatever China says. So Americans relented on this. So this was the leverage China has, and Americans relented. So and they agreed to drop the tariffs from 145% to straight to 30%. So America is charging just 30% on China, and China is charging 10% on American goods. So that's
They did have face-to-face talks, Mr. Srivastava?
they had face-to-face talks in Geneva for two
I
days,
see.
and after that, they agreed to this.
Oh, very interesting. No, but why is it that the goods that India has exported to the US last year, including pharmaceuticals and communication equipment and even the smartphones, why have they been exempted from these so-called reciprocal tariffs?
So this is not only for India, this is for the world. The things which the America feels that it cannot make it in the next 10 years, 20 years, and they need it very badly. So they kept the tariff zero on supplies from all over the world, not only on India. So these are energy, which is petroleum products. These are smartphones because they know their assembly is not possible, even though Mr. Trump is trying. These are, say, even small items like books, printed books
I see.
from all over the world. A small value item, but they are there. Then he also exempted the biggest category is pharmaceuticals and the inputs that make the pharmaceuticals APIs.
Yeah.
So 30% of India's exports to the US, they fall into exempted category. And such supplies are exempted from all over the world. So he is not given any favor to India alone.
There is a move on India's part to sort of sweeten the relationship, but there's also a lot of gerrymandering and chest thumping about the fact that the US is I mean it isn't out in the open, but every statement that is made has is there's a dig and a prod at the way America is treating India. Do you think this new ambassador who's been appointed? I mean, we have quite a move by by Trump to appoint a new man in Delhi. After a gap of 7 months, the Sergey Gore. So, I mean, is that a positive step? You think? I mean, will we finally have somebody who has a direct access to Trump?
I
And
see this as a totally positive step. Mr. Trump is empowered to appoint anyone he likes, and for us, the best thing is that we will have a person who is very close to Mr. Trump. So, if suppose we are able to convince him with our point of view, that will be great. No other middleman is needed between Mr. Gore and Mr. Trump. So, I think it's great. I see some apprehensions expressed in the media because of Mr. Gore's lack of diplomatic background, but I don't believe. In fact, India's task is clear cut. If we can convince Mr. Gore, it's fine. The words will reach Mr. Trump, and if we can't, then it's business as usual. I don't see any negativity in that.
I mean, there's also a little bit of sort of anger and resentment about India's failure to enforce intellectual property rights. Isn't that right? I mean, you've written about it too, because in the pharmaceuticals sector, they are a bit concerned that India has access to the technology, and you've also brought up market access that Washington and New Delhi have got different sort of fundamentally different attitudes towards market access.
So we cannot run our country on what US feels today is right or wrong.
Hmm.
Even on intellectual property rights, we are governed by the WTO laws. It's a subject matter of WTO since 1995. It has been
Ah,
included in the WTO by the US only. So there is an agreement called Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights. We are signatory to that and we are following that in letter and spirit. Now US wants countries to go for trips plus 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 plus. Why should we go for that? World trade happens as per the rules of the WTO. We are a signatory to WTO. We agreed to even the current level of trips rules after sacrificing lot of things to the US and Europe. And now US says it's not sufficient. That's totally unacceptable.
does Washington want us to sort of relent on alcohol, these kind of automobiles? I mean, apart from agriculture and dairy, do they want us to relent on? I mean, didn't we do make a significant gesture by reducing tariffs on automobiles?
first time we did something on FTA with the UK. So I think once we have done for UK, we should not have any more problems while doing it for the US to the same extent. So industrial products are not a problem. America's 95% exports to India, they are industrial goods. Agriculture are just less than 5%. India is willing to make tariffs on industrial products zero. Eliminate tariff from day one on all American industrial product goods. They should be happy. He says India has high tariff. We are willing to make tariffs on 95% of US exports zero from day one. Agriculture is not a trade issue for us, it's a livelihood issue for more than 700 million people. He will have to understand it's not in the hands of any of the Indian government, this government or any previous or future government, to cut tariffs on the core agriculture products.
India is also trying to sort of reach out to the US. It's appointed a new lobbyist, and there is talk among the diplomatic circles that India should appeal to the, business lobby, the diaspora, other elements in like in the political spectrum. Do you think that that is a path that India should actually take? I mean, sort of to lessen the anger and the sort of this terrible
When the
back and forth.
the teams are negotiating already, I think this tier two diplomacy will not work. These things are
Hmm.
important when you don't engage directly. Right now, we are engaged directly through negotiations, hard negotiations. All these things, they don't matter. Negotiators will whisper in each other's ears what they want, what they don't want. There is no need. I mean, these people we are hiring, we will not even tell them what is our negotiating position. We cannot tell them, we cannot disclose to the world. Even our country, we don't tell to our country what is our negotiating position broadly. And that's how negotiations happen. We know our red lines, we do justice with them, but we there is no point telling these lobby firms what our red lines, those things. So those things they help when we don't engage directly in the peace time. This is wartime.
Yeah. But what is the way forward then, Mr. Srivastava? What do you see we should take as our next steps? I mean, you're obviously advocating that the trade negotiations continue despite these tariffs. Is that what you're advocating?
People are reading that Mr. Trump's personal ego is very much bruised because of our saying that he did not help us in, I mean, he did not mediate in Pakistan's issue. People are saying
Exactly.
that's because, he is claiming to have stopped many wars before India-Pakistan war. And he thought because of that, he may be a recipient of the future Nobel Peace Prize. And when some country like India saying, no, you didn't do anything, we didn't allow you for India-Pakistan. So India may be correct, but that bruised his ego. So I don't know how to unbruise his ego. That's the only thing. I think it's not a trade issue. Believe me, it's not a trade issue. It's not even agriculture issue. It's not a dairy issue. It's beyond trade. It's beyond business. It's now at the personal level, and I don't have any idea how to handle that.
That's a very interesting point, actually. That's exactly what a lot of people are saying. But I mean, the point is about India, Pakistan, that will continue to, I think, eat away at him. So, in conclusion, sir, can it be said that Delhi will then cozy up to, China? I mean, what can we actually expect from China? Do you think China will play ball with us, or will it weaken that US-led Quad security grouping?
Our attitude towards China or Russia or any country should not be decided by what US does or does not do with us. We should think long term. It's not a short term thing that we are unhappy with the US, so we should go nearer to China or Russia. No, we are a large economy. We should have independent standing. We should have great relations with everybody, but we should think long term. Just because we are slightly unhappy with US treatment of us, we are going near to some country. No, that's
But didn't
unacceptable.
we didn't we also open the doors to Apple iPhones being produced here? And Tesla too. I mean, Prime Minister Modi is supposed to have spoken with Elon Musk on giving Tesla access to Indian markets, so that electric vehicles, was seen by even JD Vance, the vice president, said it has infinite possibilities. So
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, so I say India and US has deep relationships. These things are not even talked about. For example, we talk only about a trade deficit of $45 billion. Nobody talks how US earns 80 to $100 billion its firms earn from India. Indian
mm,
student they pay $15 billion worth of annual tuition fee, $10 billion worth of living expenses in US. So US takes far more dollars from India than India gets through the exports. And US tech firms, they take all the data from India. Only two big data producers are there in the world, China and India. China is close for US. India is the biggest data provider on which all the AI tools are being discussed. So India is a valuable partner for US. India considers US as its intrinsic valuable long-term democratic partner. It will remain, I think this is a pause in the relationship. It will be bouncing back again with full energy. But I say if we are jumping to change our position towards China or Russia because of some problem with the US relationship, that's I don't agree with that. If we feel it's in the long-term interest of India to go in some other direction, it's fine, we should do it, but not because we have temporary problem with the US.
That's very well said, actually. So we'll have to wait and see whether how India uses Tianjin to its advantage, because it has to do so without jeopardizing its place in the world's pecking order, really. Because this is a China that is seeking to resurrect SARC in through the SCO, and where Pakistan, India's arch enemy, will get star treatment. I mean, this is also a China which India knows does not want to have parity with India. So there's distrust that still runs deep. And, so Tianjin, I think, is going to be the true test, of India's emerging new foreign policy under Trump's shadow
Sure.
and a rising China. Thank you very much, Mr. Srivastava, for coming on the show and giving us an insight into how this will all play out. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, viewers, for watching Global Express. Do click and view and subscribe and share. Thank you.